Madabio.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
50 ioti.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Julde Jallo.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
50 ioti.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
For the free education.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Extend the airports.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Your project.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Fed corruption.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Talk and you do press so you don't prove am. Talk and you do press so you don't prove am. Tell we say it dey give we free education.
You do
Tell we say it dey extend for we the airport.
You do
Tell we say it dey fight against corruption.
You do
Tell we say you go approve all the teachers.
You do
Talk and do, you not talk and do. Talk and do, you not talk and do.
Madabio.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
50 ioti.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Julde Jallo.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
50 ioti.
Talk and do. You not talk and
For the
do.
free education.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Extend the airports.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Your project.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Fed corruption.
Talk and do. You not talk and do.
Me fumble them. As this song don't say, trust the process. We just get for trust the process. As this night talk and do government, what we say, we go do am. So 50, COT. Now that's make we the people of this country. One for tell boku thank you to the talk and do president, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, and your dynamic vice president, Dr. Mohammed Julde Jallo.
Famulem una audu, me na gentle Patrick Mada Koroma. Me na the political hot goose, and today I come to you, today Wednesday, the 24th of August 2022. Today, we will talk about the fact that the ambassador to the United States, the ambassador of Sierra Leone to the United States, Ambassador Siddiq Y, he writes a very serious diplomatic letter and they urge the United States government for protect democracy worldwide. The letter they hinge on the event we call the dangerous and deadly insurrection where APC sponsor na Sierra Leone, where a lot of Sierra Leoneans then they na them part of the world here, especially in the United States, where they sit down na the comfort zone, then sit down na then they enjoy the taxpayers' money in the United States, and then they make incitement. We're very dangerous. We lead, we contribute to that insurrection. And then the letter with the ambassador writes, that letter an eye-opener to all the investigation with the camp and to every other thing with the camp regarding the insurrection with APC sponsor, where APC surrogates them within America, yeah, the incite, and they make a lot of stuff around that. But listen to the program as it go. Within I want to let you do, subscribe to the YouTube and share them. Now they WhatsApp group them too. If you watch now the Facebook page, when a Hot Ghost Network Salon, you go also follow the page and share them. If you listen to audio, when you're done for listening to the audio, within I go want let you do now for also share the audio to other groups because it's a very important message I bring today. So Ambassador Y, we na the American, we na the Sierra Leonean ambassador to America and Washington DC. He write a very serious note, and he write this letter and send them to the U.S. Congress. He write this letter and also send them to the U.S. Senate and all the officials that will matter now the United States. They don't address them. They don't send a note to them. They urge them for let them protect the democracy of the world. Now, I'll tell you one thing about this issue of democracy. The principles of democracy, now for let them give freedom to the people, let the people them, based on periodic elections, let the people they able for choose the leader where they think say they want for let it lead them, devoid of overthrow, devoid of insurrection, devoid of violence, devoid of anything. When that leader, when the people they don't put the, it will remain there until in term of office done. A mandate where they give by law. And this democracy, now America and I bring up democracy because for far too long, the world be done they go into a system wherein anybody they can no more for take power and remain there forever. Autocratic system of governance. Just like how it happened in China. Just like how it happened in Russia. Just like how it happened I call it North Korea, etc., etc. Just like how it happened at Cuba. They side and they know they conduct periodic elections. The people they not get no say as to who that for rule them, as to who that for govern them. So America bring a system of governance, when at the democratic system of governance, wherein everybody they adhere to that one. No overthrow no for the anymore. And America government don't spend a whole lot of money, resources, and they don't make effort for make sure say Africa generally embrace that one because that kind of system it does scatter at the world, and Africa are the weaker part of the world in many other forms where that kind system within Ukraine, within Russia them, it be done the pipe down and filter down to Africa, and that one is bad and that one is not good. So for prevent that anarchy, for prevent that kind of problem in the now that make America be invest in democracy and they introduce democracy to the world. But as it sounds from the ambassador in letter and from what we see, especially in Sierra Leone, when I precipitate the reason why Ambassador White write that letter to the American Senate, Ambassador write that letter to the Congress of the United States, for let it open the eye to the fact that we get the type of Sierra Leoneans them, where Sidom Naya, whether they enjoy democracy, then they deny, then they use America as a hub, then they use America as a cave like Osama bin Laden for rain terror in other parts of the world, just because they want to undermine the principles of democracy where America don't build. And inside that one day, Ambassador White emphasized one of the things say America believe in the amendment rights. They believe in freedom of expression and freedom of speech. Yes, just like Sierra Leone, where President Bio don't make a lot of efforts. We don't go to the global ranking, high global ranking. They don't rank we number 10 now the whole world as a country. We get freedom of expression and freedom of speech today. But that one day we get people then where they want to undermine that democratic process slowly. So Ambassador, why they try for remind America for say their responsibility now for protect democracy. Their responsibility now for protect democracy in the world. Because if that one did not happen, the thing that way Ambassador why highlight America, if they sit down, then they watch them people they are within at the United States, especially and other parts of the Europe. It draw the attention of America, Congress, and also the Senate for say they don't use it, they don't design a different method of terrorism. That different method of opportunity for rain terror now other parts of the country is that they don't consider Naya because America say they get rights and freedom of expression a day. So that they use that one day against other country where their own rights and constitutions then different from the United States. And now then they don't begin create terror again. They don't begin water down the democratic values where America they don't bring to the war. we don't make, according to Ambassador White in letter, we don't write. Number one, it don't make a lot of overthrow don't happen. Now some series of African countries them we don't sustain. That one they don't disturb the democratic principles and values them. We don't already become rooted in Australia where they don't in Africa where they don't accept. And now we are going back. Ambassador White is reminding America, if they not take action now against the one they within America, whether they incite and then they use here as a soft zone for get an opportunity for foreign terror. Now their home countries them, if they not stop that, if they continue, now a form of totalitarian governance system, now they don't begin to encourage again for let it come back for overthrow democracy. So Ambassador White don't write to America leadership for let it tell and remind them say things are getting worse. And Sierra Leone is a case in point. Because we get people in America when are Sierra Leoneans them, where we know clearly, like one of them when they call Jubril Bangura, and that's what he called himself. I don't know if that name it gets in the United States, but in document them. But that name now in popular for, and a lot of other one them in America, whether they use violence, they not only use the words them, whether they put money together for finance a group where they cause terror, Sierra Leone. Like one other one where they call Dauda Black. We all see who side Dauda Black. It organize people them. They call them APC warriors. Dauda Black, they finance them. Dauda Black, we get videos of them where it sit down, it agree, it accept, say, and it inform people and say, it get group of people in Aya where they put money together. And recently, we don't hear information they don't can say APC executive where they don't dissolve, then come together, then put money together with Dauda Black, then send them Nasalo for sponsor the recent insurrection. We don't call, and up to now they don't begin to put money back. The name, they don't know outside the name for day. So these are all the reasons why Ambassador White they remind America for them to stand tall and make sure see they not allow people them we not like democracy. People them when are bad people them when are because of that havoc then they do it don't create a whole lot of problem. Now Africa, especially Sierra Leone, Ambassador White don't write that letter. And let I tell you one thing. Ambassador White, not only an ordinary ambassador, we then just appoint, we not get better experience. The ambassador of Sierra Leone, not within America, he's a well-experienced person. Now America, now train him as a security official. Ambassador White serve the largest security entity in the world. He become as an advisor to the New York Police Department in this country for over 10 years. And also, Ambassador White become a community affairs liaison in the security sector, in the New York Department, in America, in the United States. Meaning, when Ambassador White they write that letter to the Senate and the US Congress, it clearly know what it depends because he's well informed. And America don't train him. America don't get the sensitivity of security. America now they don't put the training in another, they don't equip in capacity. So there's no way where Ambassador White they write, and that letter where he write, it's well informed from in background where it come out. When an American trained security official. And it don't then at the American Department of Police, it advise as an advisor. Meaning it advise them on security issues. Very important ones. And we all know what the terrorists are able to do. We get domestic terrorism. We get international terrorism. We get a lot of forms where terrorism operates. And Ambassador White emphasized them inside the letter. He say, he recognize say there is freedom of speech. and everybody get right to that one day. But it even emphasize, say, it's in America here, it is not of right, it's an opportunity. Freedom of speech is an opportunity that everybody gets. When I share this program, let people there hear it, because I bring it down to people for let them know one of the greatest action we don't begin in the diplomatic arena. Because this is not what Ambassador Y and other officials in the settlement man. A man will not talk no more. And when I share this audio, I share it with the letter where Ambassador Y write to the United States Senate and Congress and officials of the United States. He write up purposely for let them look into it and try for see how they go handle, how America go handle the one they wait in America, yeah. We don't come together, they don't join hand together, then they raise terror, naturally. And all evidences then they're intact. Besides, these people then they use social media. They're not nobody not in control social media what they use. And according to social media laws, hence you know the individual don't make himself open, hide, then that person there is a crime. And again, Ambassador White say, in as much as everybody get right to a freedom of speech and expression, yes, you get right to speak truth to power. You don't get right to speak lies to power. Because whatever way you say lies to power, then they investigate them and they get problem. You can say truth to power, but you cannot use languages the way they incriminate you, where they perpetrate extreme violence like the insurrection will happen under the incitement of Sierra Leoneans them where Sidona America. Yeah. So now this Ambassador why they fight against. Now this Ambassador why they try for push. Ambassador why now a human rights activist. Now possibly where they get sorry at. At a point, inside in letter, it mentions say a maiden, an ordinary maiden, where there be one sees advantage pan at this country. Ambassador why make sure see the maiden get right over, it protects the right of the maiden over the rich person. So these are things that where that man know what they do. And currently the letter don't go. The letter Ambassador White don't submit them. And America for no say number one, it emphasizes and say, in as much as then homegrown terrorism, then domestic terrorism don't begin. Now so then they begin them. And now we don't see, they don't achieve, they don't succeed in many other countries then, now Africa, where America we don't succeed for bring democracy. And some of them countries they are now Burkina Faso, Niger, Democratic Republic of Congo, Mali, and also recently Guinea-Conakry. So Ambassador, why bring the instances there? Yeah? And when you read that letter, what you make at the emphasize and explain that to una? Now, because sometimes that letter they is complex and compounding. If you don't get the analytical mindset, you're not going to appreciate that letter well. You're not going to understand the content of that letter. But the content of the piece with Ambassador, why don't write it very tough. It don't urge America, and this is going to be a litmus paper. Now, the war they fight against Russia, where they refuse for let people then embrace democracy. So now, if the success where America don't make, the success where United Nations don't make, for make sure say Africa, when at the largest continent, it embrace democracy, now they erode again for come back will begin come out. If America tolerate that one day, democracy is losing its values and it's losing its grip on the war. So now this Ambassador Rydon project, Ambassador Rydon provoke America for let them act. Ambassador Rydon urge them for let them act and make sure say they use Sierra Leone as an example. And all citizens of Sierra Leone, people that will come up from Sierra Leone, when they use America, you know, they want to try for Ambassador White try for let them see when they use America for reign terror in their country for let America bring them to book. One of the things where Ambassador White emphasized, we're very serious, is this. Inside that letter, it don't want to let America look as if now America they encourage domestic terrorists then. Because if then they finance like where Dauda Black they do, they finance APC warriors when then they wage war in Sierra Leone, then they raise terror in Sierra Leone. We get Jibril Bangura every day, and they say when I go do this, and they use hate speech. You don't do that in the United States. So why should you sit in the comfort of United States? They think say you go use it as a hidden place for rain terror on peaceful society for say them go overthrow. This is the argument where Ambassador Why don't push. So if America thinks say they respect democracy, now they're not the father of democracy, because the father of democracy, now George Washington, when are the first president of the United States. And that is why they don't push an American and born democracy. So if then they think say other person like Osama bin Laden in other country, if you don't they raise terror around, they go refer terrorists and deal with her. Why America they allow other people from their own country, they can if they can't get greener pasture, fine, let them sit down, they enjoy and live life. America don't get problem with that. But then they can use the freedom of expression for use them in another form for cause terrorism in their own country. Ambassador Wise don't push all the American government for let them take steps. And Ambassador Wise is an ambassador of Sierra Leone to this country. And he has been around the security sector, advising the security sector in this country. In background, a very strong for inform in letter where he don't put out. It's a very serious thing. Now, America, an ordinary threat to somebody don't want the amount to an offense. That's the law. You know the threaten somebody now yourself easily for say are they doing anything. So that is the amount to an offense. So let alone you threaten the entire democracy of a state in a state. You understand? So now this is the step where Ambassador Why don't take the initial step. And we're going to see a lot of steps, diplomatic steps, where they go on. Because we don't need Denkanti another country. We don't need them. And when this all they go, and I tell President Tokanubio plenty thank you. They don't set up the investigation committee. Wherefore investigate the insurrection, the violent insurrection where APC do. President Biodo set that committee today, when at the 24th of August, 2022. So as the committee they investigate, anybody will get evidence, where you know somebody, bring that evidence out, submit that to Gentoo, and go forward that to the committee. They head the chairman to that committee where they investigate that insurrection, na Emmanuel Safar Abdullah. Now the chairman to that committee. A very neutral and objective committee. So now the groundworks, Ambassador Why don't begin. And when they submit and they send this audio, na social media, they send the letter where Ambassador Why don't write, where they urge America for take action, and it no say it happen, and it get the right, because anything where they happen in your country, until and unless you bring them diplomatically to the nation where the people in there. Now they begin take the step. Now from that point in day. So the process don't start. It's a very serious thing. And America, from waiting Ambassador Why don't highlight inside that letter. There's no way America will tolerate anybody for calm sidom, na the comfort of America, for incite war, or for use hate speech, because he thinks say okay, if it is alone, he no go do am. Why if for do an aya? And he no go do an aya against American government, neither he own company, because you get freedom of speech naya, but it get limits. Naya, you know they threaten somebody, na crime. So let alone you threaten a whole state. You see don't naya. And the law, they only handle you when somebody bring you and wake up the law and remind the law about the fact that somebody don't break that law. So this is exactly what the ambassador of Sierra Leone to the United States, Ambassador Siddiq, why don't do. The letter don't go. The letter don't go. So now the process don't begin. Now President Biodo also set up the committee. And the police, na Sierra Leone, they don't put people in wanted. When I continue for what they call it, the police don't give a number where you go call when a 119. You go dial 119, you go call the police and give them information about people them where been they beat and kill policeman them, where ready come together and they holler. Then they run go overthrow President Bio when are illegal stuff where they against democratic principles. When you see them, you get any information about them now for hold them, call the police. If you know and call the police, get onto Gentoo. Any information or evidence where you get forward and to Gentoo, we don't do them with the packer. Heads are going to roll. Heads are going to roll. Not to joke, not to play. And you know, therefore, share this program, let other people then get this information. Let other people then get this information. Let them know, say, heads are going to roll. Things are happening. So Ambassador Y don't begin them, and at the send Ambassador Y a letter directly where it's sent to now the United States Congress and Senate for let them take actions. So this is a very serious thing. It's a very serious thing. Of course, we get a lot of evidence against the people and they play with the state. So these are domestic terrorists then. So now the investigation, they don't set up the committee today, when at the 24th of August, and police don't put out a number where you go call, when at 119, where you go call for give information to police about anybody where you see na them video them. And one of the people them, now Adi Macaulay. Adi Macaulay is wanted. Lawyer Adi Macaulay is wanted. By hook or crook. Because now been talk say the people that let them come out in go turn lawyer for them. Now in clients, then they now in detention. Then they wait for her. Let Adi Macaulay go now and help in client them. Then they on detention. The one that where they say the Mami cause bomber. Na asylum is sick, he not ever seek asylum. The Mamikos bomber, he get temporary stay na Holland. And how he get the temporary stay na because he give a woman belly, the woman born Pekin for him. Because of that Pekin, then get a temporary stay, not to even permanent stay. So he not they under any form of asylum. Let me make it clear. I know they waste my time yonder. So people who not informed, let them know. But however, the process don't start. The game don't open. The game don't babala. So when you get more information, send out to Gentoo. So all them, then Abu Black, then Jibril Bangura them. Of course, Jibril Bangura, that thing where they call PPP, where they form, Na Jibril Bangura go open am. He go na UPS, na Dublin Granville Road, na Ohio, near like 5 minutes from in the Jibril Bangura. Usai ide, he go take UPS box. UPS letterbox, now you go pay for. Now then they do the terrorist act. And they get for know the person will go rent the box because America, way they go do that, they give you ID, they give you details, then they put it into your system, into the system. So you know they hide, then they handle it. That one they all done they now. God don't begin expose them. You know the Canada, Ambassador White emphasize them in all way they urge America. You know the Canada, let them not use America as a terrorist base, wherein let them not feeble like say, then they can't sit down a soft zone, then they did it, then they get money, then they finance terrorism, now that country, domestic terrorism, then they finance dangerous things, then they incite, then they bring people, they organize them, like the APC executive in America, and all of them, it's dangerous. So this case is now under consideration. Then part of the country are, then they take them one step at a time. One step at a time. But hence the ball rolling don't begin. 9 are the most important one. So at the Macaulay, 9 say, let them come out. They go represent them. Now in client, then they not sell. Then they wait for her. Let come. Let go. It don't run away. So when I don't see how they been they lie pauna, how they been they deceive una. Now if Adi Macaulay be no say, na genuine thing then deeper. Why it not been stay in a saloon? Why for run? Why for run? So now I receive a blinding. It give an audio. Inside that audio, it bring a deceptive statement. A statement when a false. A statement when misleading to the public. Because Silver Blinding, they try for protect APC party, where now the reformists them get them now. Then they try for own APC party, where don't split. Then get the jihad and Eskroma and his jihadist boys. And then we get Samuel Samsumana, Alfred Peter Conte, Silver Blinding with the NRM. So now Silver Blinding in your role, and they try for protect the APC party and try for push the blame, the problem where APC don't get that insurrection where APC don't bring. You know, one let it day on APC, it want push up individuals as if they're not a part of APC. That's the job Silver Blinding is doing. And they observe them and they listen them. And then also, it use a statement in that audio, I don't know if that's 082, where it talk about the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, why in the Pampa and Eskroma, it talk about the Arab country where an Eskroma thief money laundering, where it lie and deceive people them about the president conniving with an Eskroma. And that one in a dangerous statement, Silver Blinding do. Silver Blinding know the repercussion of their statement, and they were igi, and you know say that statement is not correct, not false. There is no way a president of Sierra Leone will hold any document for keeping. The commissions of inquiry, if possible, get any document there for submit, they've been tell people they say una forgot them. So most of the document that some man not been bring out until the commission end. So if the commission of inquiry don't end, any other document where they carry it, then they submit an out to the new case where an Eskroma get, when the money laundry case where an Eskroma get. That one, none need for the inside the commissions of inquiry. So this is what Silver Blinding is getting wrong. And one less as they no say, and Eskroma, the commissions of inquiry don't hold and culpable, is guilty of thievery. They don't thief with couple. And the commissions of inquiry, the white paper government don't pull them. One of the recommendation was an Eskroma, the 2 O's the way it gets. where it broke one. Now Godrich, a bill am with million dollar. Then it go build another one at McKinney with million dollar. That money they native itifam. Na salon money because all in salary where he get for 11 years, he not go even half for make even veranda. Pade house then he not ever declare and tell people the outside pull up. So the state for pull that house na annex in hand. Then one of the judges and then one of the judgment that one day. And as Koroma know that one day. He know that one day clearly. Now that make Iran go na appeal court and plenty of them. Now that make the Iran go na court of appeal. And then they then get a democratic right with President Bio give them. For let them go listen to them. So now the thing that one day. So now then they na appeal court. Imagine commissions of inquiry take nearly a year for let them done. So if they all don't go appeal back to court of appeal, for let it look as if the government not go able to take action, now lie. So anything we Sylvia Blyden they talk, they do them in the best interest of APC because Sylvia Blyden they try for protect APC and try for put in no the bad way APC don't do. You know say this insurrection now they involve, but the one they were involved, you want pull them away, you want push them from the party. Let it not be say now the party, but the game is working. Now, the reason this way after content go on air is saying that elements of APC and some element them inside APC, now they do that. So then they try now for push them, for left their own party clean. Let them not bring the hala for the party. This is the job she's doing. Of course, then don't divide. They are fighting themselves. So this is the situation. Ambassador, why don't begin the ball rolling? And it don't put her into play because right now the biggest trouble here now Russia and Ukraine because Russia, China, North Korea, Cuba, they all one begin come together. Now that communist system, now they get another communist system of governance now APC get because that communist ideology now APC then get. SLPP get democratic ideology. Now that means SLPP can have power, na alhamdulillah business day. But because APC they get communist ideology, now that make they always want let anarchy or call let terrorism or call now that make them they behave so because they don't begin talk say they don't begin put them together. And now put themselves together for cause terror. So the world they fight against that. America they fight against that. Ambassador, why don't remind America they all let them take action. Now the investigation committee, they don't set them. I want to let the committee know one thing. Therefore, investigate from whose side they start during the event and whose side end. And one of the people, two of them, where they for really take very serious. Now, Dr. Dennis Bright, when are the chairman, the defunct chairman of NGC party. And also Femi Claudius Cole. Now, Dr. Dennis Bright, this insurrection then begin with Dr. Dennis Bright when they work with in COP, but it is stupid now. So APC when they use them, he can mock about them. The first demonstration where they say they want to demonstrate, now they therefore don't begin this thing, that insurrection. And Dennis Bright, he have been dead. Now they all go, even when police go, they all decide to let them not do them. They not come back to them people for can't talk say, we don't sit down with police, so they say, and we back don't agree, say, let us not do this demonstration. They not do them. So what they do, they begin fan them even when they don't sign. They begin instigate again. Femi Claudius go again. He say they bring woman them. Now so they been the planner. They want to use them, but you know work. Now they come up behind them now. And the other side when Femi Claudius go in get trouble, you don't go sign document. When I don't agree with police, say for so reason A, B, and C, when I not for allow nobody for come on the street. Then after when they don't sign, instead of them go tell people the night Femi Claudius go organize woman them back, When an illegal woman group, we no ever register, we no deserve that alone. A pull in a street. Because they want to do the insurrection for overthrow Madabiyo. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Whether you say not be no, not to nobody in business. Dennis Bright in your side is this. When a member where CDI at Tunis go na AYV, it talk say then when they na APC, they don't organize, they don't mobilize, then they begin mobilizing people them, and then they can activate level 3 for overthrow, for pull President Biona power. Exactly that's what you use. And you're not going to use level 3 for pull President power. Level 3 not a democratic means of taking somebody away from power. Level 3, we see when Lima go na radio, na AYV again, and Dennis Bright and Sidon. It tell the whole world say, you ain't a sojama, you ain't a police, you ain't a security person. The meaning of level 3, na excessive violence, na they unleash. Na in level 3, where they activate. Meaning, where you don't try all peaceful means. Now the excessive violent approach. Now in that one day. So now that kind of level, APC, they've been telling Yaya Tunis, they all agree say that they put when at this resurrection insurrection. Nice so. Now the level 3 that one day. And I will say Dennis Bright kind side. Dennis Bright, they all over the place because now they all plan them. Now that make I can tell people and say, don't fight your enemy with hatred. Not fight your enemy with hatred. Because now they all plan them. Dennis Bright goes sit down. Now AYV and Lima, it they defend the level 3 activation, which the Yaya Tunis talk about. So what makes Dennis Bright different from the one where they all make the coup? And anybody will encourage them, we talk for them, you are part of the crime, when they commit. So Dennis Bright is going to be drawn. Why he go defend that one day? Because that level 3 activation are the secret leak. For say they want overthrow. Because 9 level 3 mean. And they talk up, not too high. And Dennis Bright go support CDA Tunis. And they argue Lima. And they try for make maker. So Dennis Bright is part of the game. So, Ambassador Y, I tell you plenty, thank you. This is not a job well done. They don't begin the ball rolling. America need for and then get for protect the democracy of the world. If you say you're hungry, now because APC left austerity, President Bill they try for clean their mess. So down at the situation. Heads are going to roll. I'm not playing. Heads are going to rule. APC with a communist idea. Now that make them say don't join the domestic terrorism with other countries. APC then get communist idea. Now that make with them kind of power the best party in China. Now that make APC not believe say they forget power by democratic means. They're not go able. They're not go able. There's no way APC go win elections. They're not ready. So Ambassador, why don't kick the ball rolling? Let God bless you, sir. Yeah. Yes. So una need for no dandy. I go stop now, yeah. I don't get for do much today. But I want to share the program, let people that hear. Let them know say the game don't overblown. And una go carry register. Una we been fast. We have been declared the 3 days fasting for the president. And for swear APC, let them expose una tenki, una fast. The communist idea we didn't get, they not go work in Sierra Leone. Marabio, don't make sure say Salon grow beyond that. So, una get for your big news. I want to know that the ball rolling there starts. I send this audio, I share them, now then WhatsApp group them together with the letter where Ambassador Why don't write. The process is on. Democracy for stay, and nobody not get no right for overthrow a government. You get for wait. Where you do them, you cacto don't jam paper bag. Me na gentle. The political hot goose. Si don't pa me the fryer, for don't pa the nyaka nyaka, me people le una share. Let's serious Relina as Zenyeri.
Trust the process. Prince Keke. Lunge Bobo.
Madabio,
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
50 in your tea.
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
Julde Jello,
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
50 in your tea.
Talk and do, you not talk and
For
do.
the free education,
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
extend the airports.
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
Your projects,
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
fed corruption.
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
Talker, you do Preso, you don't prove Talker, you do Preso, you don't prove Tell we say they give we free education.
You do
Tell we say they extend for we the airport.
you do
Tell we say they fight against corruption.
you do
Tell we say you will approve all the teachers.
you do
Talk and do, you not talk and do. Talk and do, you not talk and do.
Madabio,
talk and do, you not talk and do.
50 in your tea.
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
Julde Jello,
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
50 in your tea.
Talk and do, you not talk and
For the
do.
free education,
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
extend the airports.
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
Your projects,
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
fed corruption.
Talk and do, you not talk and do.
Me fumble them. As this song don't say, trust the process. We just get for trust the process. As this night talk and do government, what we say, we go do am. So 50, see your tea. Now that's make with the people of this country. One for tell Boku thank you to the talk and do president, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, and your dynamic vice president, Dr. Muhammad Julde Jallo.
All right, una bye bye, me family. We go tap Naya today. Una don't see say APC, they're not good for themselves. Ambassador Why don't begin the ball rolling. We tell them plenty thank you. Una bye bye.
Network TV.